The dead world of Zenkar hung like a gray pearl against the black velvet of space. Commander Lisa Moore stood at the view screen of her scout ship, the Pathfinder, and felt a chill run down her spine. Once, this planet had been home to billions of Zenkari, tall, four-armed beings with scaled skin and fierce intelligence. Now, nothing lived on its surface. "Scanning complete, Commander," said Lieutenant Sam Reeves from his station. "No life signs detected. Air is breathable but thin. Temperature at landing zone is cool but within human comfort range." Lisa nodded. "Prep the landing team. Standard protocol for abandoned civilization sites." 2 hours later, Lisa stepped onto Zenkari soil, the first human to do so in nearly 2 centuries. The capital city of Vexor spread out before her team, a maze of twisted metal spires and crumbling stone buildings. Dust blew through empty streets. The silence felt heavy, almost alive. "Fan out, but stay in radio contact," Lisa ordered her team of 5. "We're looking for their central archives or government buildings. Any clue about what happened here?" Lisa checked her wrist computer. Earth Command wanted answers, not mysteries. For 200 years, the Zenkari had been the cautionary tale whispered among alien species, the last race that had directly challenged human expansion. Their complete disappearance had spawned dozens of terrifying rumors about the human solution, a fate apparently worse than open warfare. The morning passed slowly as they picked through ruins. Lisa climbed the steps of what appeared to be a grand building with columns. Inside, dust-covered desks and strange computer terminals sat unused for centuries. "Commander, you should see this." The voice of Sergeant Kelly Davis crackled over her radio. "I found something in the basement level of the building 2 blocks east of you." When Lisa arrived, she found Kelly standing before a massive door of some unknown metal, still sealed and untouched by the years of abandonment. "It's got power," Kelly said, pointing to dim lights around its frame. "Some kind of backup system still running after all this time." Lisa ran her scanner over the door. "This is their version of a vault. Radiation-proof, time-proof." She studied the locking mechanism. "Get Ben over here. This looks like something his tech skills can crack." It took 4 hours for Ben Lee to bypass the alien security systems. When the massive door finally swung open, cool air rushed out, carrying a strange, sweet smell. Inside, they found row after row of data crystals, specimen containers, and what looked like historical artifacts carefully preserved. But it was the wall of screens that drew Lisa's attention. As Ben connected their translation software, the screens flickered to life, showing Zenkari text. "These are their historical records," Lisa said, watching as dates and images appeared. "Their final days." The first files showed normal Zenkari life. Government meetings, cultural events, military parades displaying their powerful weapons. Then came images of their first contact with humans, 50 years before their disappearance. The records showed initial peaceful exchanges followed by growing tension. "Look at this," Ben said, pointing to a specific date. "This was when they attacked our colony ships near Proxima Centauri. They thought we were expanding too close to their territory." Lisa nodded grimly. "And here's the warning from Earth Council that followed." The next file showed a human diplomat delivering a message to the Zenkari High Council. "We seek peace, but we will protect our people. This is your only warning." The Zenkari records after that became increasingly strange. No battles, no war, just reports of subtle changes in their society over decades. Decreased birth rates, shifts in behavior, medical mysteries their scientists couldn't solve. "Download everything," Lisa ordered. "Every single file." As the team worked, Lisa stepped away to send a private message to Earth Command. "Found primary source records of Zenkari final years. Evidence suggests implementation of protocol we don't acknowledge publicly. Requesting highest security clearance for this material." The response came quickly. "Data classified level 10. Your eyes only, Commander. Bring everything home. The galaxy must never know what really happened to the last species that angered humanity." Lisa looked around at the dead city outside the vault window and wondered what terrible secret she was about to uncover. Back on her ship, Commander Lisa Moore locked herself in her private cabin. The data crystals from the Zenkari vault sat on her desk, glowing with a soft blue light. She inserted the first one into her secured reader and began reviewing the historical footage. The screen showed a human ship entering Zenkari space for the first time. The date stamp indicated it was 50 years before the civilization's mysterious end. Captain Jack Wilson stood tall on the bridge of the Earth ship horizon, his face open and friendly as he greeted the first Zenkari delegation. "We come in peace," Wilson said through a translation device. "Earth wishes to establish trade and share knowledge with your people." The Zenkari leader, High Commander Voltar, towered over the humans with his four arms crossed in what Lisa recognized as a gesture of suspicion. His scaled skin shimmered under the ship's lights. "Your kind spreads quickly," Voltar responded. "We have watched your expansion from afar. It concerns us." Lisa skipped ahead through months of tense but peaceful meetings. Trade agreements were discussed, but never finalized. The Zenkari seemed to grow more worried with each passing week. New footage showed Ambassador Daniel Kelly replacing Captain Wilson, the patient man with kind eyes. Kelly tried repeatedly to ease Zenkari fears. "We seek only to explore and trade," Kelly explained during one meeting. "Earth has no designs on Zenkari territory." But the next crystal told a different story. Lisa watched as Zenkari warships ambushed 3 human colony vessels near the border of their space. The colony ships carried families, children, teachers, farmers bound for a new world. The Zenkari fired without warning. "They must be stopped," Voltar declared in a speech to his military council. "Humans breed and spread like a disease. They will consume all habitable worlds if left unchecked. We have superior technology and weapons. We must push them back now, while we still can." More attacks followed. Human outposts went dark. Supply ships disappeared. Earth sent more diplomats, all of whom were turned away. Lisa found footage of an emergency meeting of Earth's Security Council. The faces were grim as they reviewed the attacks. "They believe they're stronger than us," said Defense Minister Helen Ward. "A dangerous mistake." "Have we tried everything to reach a peaceful solution?" asked another counselor. A gray-haired man nodded slowly. "Ambassador Kelly has made 12 separate attempts to reopen talks. They refuse all contact except to demand we abandon our outer colonies." The council voted unanimously. The recording showed President Richard Benson signing an official document. "Send the warning," he said. "One warning only, as is our protocol." The next crystal showed the human messenger delivering Earth's final communication to the Zenkari Council. It was brief and offered no threats, just a simple statement. "We regret your choice of conflict over cooperation. We have tried to find common ground. This is Earth's final attempt at peace. What follows is of your making." The Zenkari leaders laughed at the message. "They speak of peace because they fear our power," Voltar told his generals. "Prepare the fleet. We will strike their core systems next and end this human problem forever." Lisa paused the recording and checked the timestamps. What happened next should have been war. Earth's military response to the Zenkari aggression. But the record showed no battles, no fleet movements, no planet bombardments. Instead, the next crystal began 3 months later, with a small unmarked human science vessel requesting permission to study a Zenkari biological research station. Permission was surprisingly granted. The footage showed Dr. Susan Grant, Earth's leading xenobiologist, collecting Zenkari biological samples with their full cooperation. Her assistant, a quiet man named Alan Peters, worked in the background, saying little. Lisa froze the image of Dr. Grant. There was something in the woman's eyes as she carefully stored the Zenkari genetic material, a look of cold determination that sent chills down Lisa's spine. "Computer, search Earth's historical database for Project Evolutionary Redirection," Lisa commanded. The screen flashed. "ACSI SSDNID, Level 12 clearance required. Lisa sat back in her chair. What had Earth done to the Zenkari? And why was it kept so secret, even 2 centuries later? Lisa woke to an urgent beeping from her ship's communication system. A message from Earth Command flashed on her screen. Return immediately. Bring all recovered data. No explanation, no additional details. She gathered the Zenkari crystals and prepared the Pathfinder for departure. As her ship broke orbit from the dead world, Lisa couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. 3 days later, her ship docked at Earth's orbital command station. Instead of the usual security team, a single woman waited for her, Admiral Kate Foster, head of Earth's Special Projects Division. Commander Moore, the Admiral said, her face unreadable. Follow me. They walked in silence through empty corridors to a room with no windows and only one door. Inside sat an old man with kind eyes and liver-spotted hands. This is Dr. Peter Wright, Admiral Foster explained. He worked with Dr. Susan Grant on the Zenkari project. Lisa set the data crystals on the table. What exactly was the Zenkari project? The old man sighed. It was called evolutionary redirection. I was just a young assistant back then, but I saw everything. He activated a holographic display showing Dr. Susan Grant in her lab. After the Zenkari attacks, Earth faced a choice: launch a full-scale war that would cost millions of lives on both sides, or find another way. What other way? Lisa asked, though she feared she already knew. Dr. Grant was brilliant, Wright continued, ignoring her question. She studied the Zenkari genome for weeks after we collected those samples. She found something fascinating. Their aggression was linked to a specific genetic sequence, one that had evolved recently in their history. A hologram showed Dr. Grant working with complex DNA models, her face intense with concentration. The Council gave us 3 months to develop an alternative to war, Wright said. By then, the Zenkari had destroyed 7 human outposts. People were demanding revenge. Admiral Foster nodded. The Edwards Protocol was activated. What is the Edwards Protocol? Lisa asked. A last resort, the Admiral replied. Named after the scientist who first proposed it. A way to avoid direct conflict while still ensuring human safety. Dr. Wright touched the hologram controls, showing a microscopic view of what looked like simple bacteria. We engineered these, harmless microbes that could survive in the Zenkari water supply. They did nothing immediate, caused no illness. Then what did they do? Lisa pressed. They altered the Zenkari genome, Wright said quietly. Not the living Zenkari, but their reproductive cells. Each new generation was born slightly different, less aggressive, more cooperative, and with a slightly lower birth rate. Lisa felt cold. You engineered their extinction. No, Admiral Foster cut in. We gave them a choice they didn't know they were making. The changes were subtle. Had they chosen peace earlier, we would never have deployed the microbes. Wright nodded. The first generation showed a 5% decrease in birth rates, hardly noticeable. The second generation, 12%. By the third generation, Zenkari society had completely changed. They became focused on art, philosophy, cooperation. Their military budgets were redirected to science and exploration. And they stopped having children, Lisa finished. Not completely, Wright said. Just fewer and fewer, until they peacefully faded away. Admiral Foster concluded. The last Zenkari died 50 years ago. No war, no bloodshed, just a species that chose aggression and paid the price through their own biology. Lisa stared at the crystals on the table. And this has been kept secret for 2 centuries. Why? The Admiral's face hardened. Because the Edwards Protocol has been used more than once, and because there are 27 species in the galaxy it would unite against us if they knew the truth. Humanity isn't feared because of our weapons, Commander Moore. We're feared because those who threaten us simply disappear. Lisa thought of all the stories she'd heard, civilizations that challenged humans only to mysteriously decline over generations, not through war, but through subtle, invisible changes they never even noticed until it was too late. And now? Lisa asked. Admiral Foster's eyes met hers. Now you have a choice to make. What choice? Lisa asked, her voice barely a whisper. Admiral Foster walked to a wall screen and activated it. This is happening now, Commander. The screen showed a massive alien warship firing on a human research station. The aliens were insectoid with 4 arms and chitinous blue-green shells. The station broke apart under their weapons, escape pods scattering like seeds from a bursting flower. The Vordax, Foster explained. They've attacked 3 outposts in the past month. 42 scientists and engineers dead. What do they want? Lisa asked. The same thing the Zenkeri wanted, to stop human expansion. They believe we're taking too many resources, spreading too quickly. The Admiral's face hardened. The Council issued the warning 2 days ago. Lisa understood immediately. You've already decided to use the Edwards Protocol again. Dr. Wright nodded sadly. The microbes are ready, modified for Vordax biology. Lisa stood up abruptly. I need to see more of the Zenkeri records. I need to understand exactly what happened to them. Foster looked at Wright, who nodded. You have level 12 clearance now, Commander. See for yourself. Lisa spent the next 12 hours reviewing the remaining Zenkeri crystals. She watched their civilization change over decades after the human microbes were introduced. The first generation seemed normal, though birth rates dropped slightly. Military parades became less common. In the second generation, Zenkeri children were noticeably different, calmer, more focused on learning than fighting. Schools replaced training grounds. Artists gained status once held by warriors. By the third generation, the change was dramatic. Birth rates had fallen by 40%. The Zenkeri seemed to accept this, turning their focus inward. They built beautiful cities, created stunning art, advanced their science, but they rarely ventured into space anymore. The fourth generation had so few children that the Zenkeri began to worry. Their scientists searched for causes, but found nothing they could identify. Some blamed radiation, others pointed to environmental factors. None suspected the subtle genetic changes introduced decades earlier. Lisa paused the recording when she found footage of an elderly Zenkeri speaking to a nearly empty chamber of youngsters. We have lived well, the old one said. Perhaps it is time for our race to step aside. We have created beauty. We have learned wisdom. If this is to be our final age, let us make it one of peace and reflection. The young Zenkeri nodded in agreement. There was no panic, no desperate search for solutions. They simply accepted their fate with a strange serenity that seemed unnatural to Lisa. She searched Earth's classified archives and found a report by Dr. Grant marked Eyes Only. Edwards Protocol results. The changes have exceeded expectations, Dr. Grant had written. Not only have aggression levels decreased and birth rates declined, but we've observed an unexpected side effect: increased acceptance of their fate. This appears tied to changes in their neurochemistry resulting from the genetic modifications. They do not fight their extinction. They embrace it as natural. Lisa felt sick. The Zenkeri hadn't chosen their path. Their very minds had been altered to accept it. She found another file, this one a recording of the Earth Council meeting after the last Zenkeri died. The Edwards Protocol has proven more effective than direct warfare, said a counselor. No destruction of resources, no human casualties, no expensive military campaigns. And morally, someone asked. We gave them 50 years to change course, another replied. They could have chosen peace at any time before we deployed the microbes. After that, nature simply took its course. Lisa closed the files and sat in silence. What humans had done was not war. It was something far more insidious. They had changed the very nature of their enemy, redirected their evolutionary path toward peaceful self-extinction. Her communication panel beeped. Admiral Foster's face appeared on screen. "The Council wants your decision, Commander Moore. The Vordax ship carrying our scientists is approaching Vordax Prime. Our agent is ready to release the microbes into their water processing centers." Foster paused. "Will you authorize the operation, or should we prepare for open war?" Lisa stared at the Admiral, the weight of an entire species' future suddenly in her hands. "I need more time," Lisa told Admiral Foster. "Delay the operation for 24 hours. Foster frowned. "The Council won't like it." "I don't care," Lisa replied. "I need to speak with someone first." After the Admiral reluctantly agreed, Lisa made a secure call to an old friend, Frank Martinez, lead historian at the Galactic Archives on Mars. If anyone knew the full truth about human history with alien species, it would be Frank. "I need everything you have on the Edwards Protocol," Lisa said when Frank's surprised face appeared on her screen. "And don't pretend you don't know what that is." Frank's expression darkened. "Lisa, what have you gotten yourself into?" "The truth," she answered. "And I need more of it. Now." 6 hours later, Frank sent her a heavily encrypted file. "I'm probably ending my career by sharing this," he said. "But people need to know." Lisa opened the file and found records of 7 other species that had challenged humanity over the past 3 centuries. All had undergone the same fate as the Zenkeri: gradual changes in behavior, declining birth rates, and eventual peaceful extinction. None had ever discovered the true cause. Most disturbing was a section labeled Alternatives Considered. Earth scientists had developed other options: temporary sterility that could be reversed if a species became peaceful, or genetic changes that would reduce aggression without affecting reproduction. But these had been rejected as insufficiently permanent solutions. Lisa felt cold fury building inside her. Humanity had chosen extinction for these species, not just defense. She made another call, this time to Counselor Patricia Winters, the one member of Earth's Security Council, known for questioning aggressive policies. "I have proof of the Edwards Protocol and its use against multiple species," Lisa said without introduction. "I'm prepared to share it with every race in the Galactic Assembly." Winter's face paled. "You would destroy Earth's standing in the galaxy. We would be pariahs, possibly face war on multiple fronts." Or, Lisa countered, "we could tell the truth ourselves and end this practice forever." 20 hours later, Lisa stood before the emergency session of the Galactic Council. Representatives from 83 species filled the chamber, their faces showing confusion about this unusual meeting. Counselor Winters stepped forward. "Respected representatives, Earth comes before you today to reveal a truth we have hidden for centuries." A murmur ran through the chamber. "For over 300 years," Winters continued, "when faced with aggressive species that would not respond to diplomacy, Earth has used what we call the Edwards Protocol." Lisa activated the holo display, showing the Zenkeri records and Dr. Grant's reports. She explained how the microbes worked, how they subtly altered genetics across generations. The chamber erupted in outrage. The Meridian representative, a tall being with crystalline skin, shouted, "You played gods. You determined which species should continue and which should fade away. You murdered entire civilizations without firing a shot," accused the Volturi delegate, his tentacles waving in anger. "Is this how the mighty humans keep peace?" sneered the Caxtonian, her feathers bristling. "Through invisible genocide." Winters raised her hands. "We come before you to acknowledge our wrong and end this practice forever." Lisa stepped forward. "The Vordax are currently attacking human outposts. Under our old policy, they would already be marked for evolutionary redirection. Instead, we ask the Council to help mediate this conflict." The chamber grew quiet. The eldest council member, Jorah of the Palani, rose slowly. "For centuries, species have vanished after challenging humans. We all noticed the pattern but could prove nothing. Now we know the terrible truth." She turned to face the entire assembly. "The question before us is not just what humans have done, but what we shall do now with this knowledge." Lisa held her breath as the council members looked at each other. Earth's fate, and possibly the fate of the Vordax, hung in the balance. I propose, Jorah, that we establish a commission to investigate all uses of this Edwards Protocol, and that Earth surrender all research related to evolutionary manipulation to galactic oversight. Councillor Winters nodded. We accept these terms. As the council members began voting on the proposal, Lisa's communicator buzzed. A message from Admiral Foster appeared. The Vordax have attacked another outpost. 40 more dead. The council has activated the microbes anyway. Too late to stop it now. Lisa stared at the message in horror. The truth was out, but had it come too late for the Vordax? Lisa slipped away from the Galactic Council chamber, her heart racing. While Councillor Winters continued addressing the shocked representatives, Lisa found a quiet corner and called Admiral Foster. Is it true? Lisa demanded. Have the microbes been deployed? Foster's face showed no emotion. The order came directly from Fleet Admiral Gregory Hobbs. I tried to tell him you needed more time, but he said Earth couldn't wait. Where are they now? Can we stop it? The agent released the microbes into the main water processing facility on Vordax Prime 6 hours ago, Foster replied. It's already in their system. Lisa ended the call and leaned against the wall, her mind racing. Unlike the slower military responses of other species, humanity's deadliest weapon had already been deployed. Invisible, unstoppable, and completely deniable. 3 days later, Lisa stood in Fleet Admiral Hobbs' office on Earth. The old soldier looked out his window at the Pacific Ocean, seemingly calm despite the crisis unfolding across the galaxy. You've caused quite a problem, Commander Moore, Hobbs said without turning around. The Galactic Council is demanding access to all our research facilities. 7 species are calling for reparations for past uses of the Edwards Protocol. Our colonies are reporting increased tensions with neighboring alien settlements. With respect, sir, we caused the problem when we decided to play God with other species, Lisa replied. Hobbs finally turned to face her. Do you know how many human lives the Edwards Protocol has saved? Billions. Wars that never happened. Colonies that were never destroyed. He walked to his desk and tapped a button. A holographic display showed the Vordax homeworld. And now, thanks to your conscience, we may face the first full-scale interstellar war in 200 years. The Council agreed to mediate. The Council can't control the Vordax any better than we could, Hobbs interrupted. They've already rejected 3 calls for ceasefire. That's why we deployed the microbes. Lisa clenched her fists. You didn't even try. 1 warning and then straight to extinction. That's been our policy for centuries, hasn't it? It worked, Hobbs said simply. A knock at the door interrupted them. Dr. Olivia Hale, current head of xenobiology and successor to Dr. Grant's position, entered the room. You asked to see me, Admiral. Her eyes flickered to Lisa with curiosity. Dr. Hale, Commander Moore here has concerns about the Vordax operation, Hobbs explained. Perhaps you can address them. Lisa faced the scientist. Is there an antidote? Something that can reverse the microbe's effects? Dr. Hale's expression remained neutral. Theoretically, yes. The microbes could be programmed to restore the original genetic sequence rather than alter it, but we've never developed such a countermeasure. Could you create one now? For the Vordax. The scientist glanced at Admiral Hobbs before answering. It would take time. The microbes are already replicating in their water supply, already entering their bodies. How much time? Lisa pressed. 3 weeks to develop it. Another week to deploy it. Dr. Hale shook her head. By then, the first-generation effects will already be established. We could prevent the extinction, but the behavioral changes would remain for at least 1 generation. Admiral Hobbs cleared his throat. This is all theoretical, Commander. The Security Council has not authorized any reversal. And they won't, Lisa realized aloud. Because a less aggressive Vordax that still exists is exactly what Earth wants. Hobbs didn't deny it. A species that's alive but no longer threatens us. Everyone wins. Except the Vordax don't get to choose. Lisa countered, just like the Zenkari didn't. Lisa's communicator beeped with an incoming message. It was from Frank Martinez. Krell, Vordax emissary, arrived at Mars Diplomatic Station 1 hour ago, requesting meeting with human representative who revealed Edward's protocol to Council. Says he has important information. Very urgent. Lisa looked up from the message to find both Hobbs and Dr. Hale watching her intently. The Vordax have sent an emissary, she told them. He's asking to meet with me. This could be a trap, Hobbs warned. They might blame you personally for exposing their species to the microbes. Or, Lisa said, they might want to find a way forward that doesn't end with their extinction. She headed for the door. Commander, Hobbs called after her. Whatever you're planning, remember your oath to Earth. Lisa paused in the doorway. I do, Admiral. That's precisely why I'm going. The Mars Diplomatic Station hung in orbit like a silver wheel against the red planet. Lisa's shuttle docked at the secure bay, where 2 galactic security officers, a tall Meridian and a stocky Pilani, waited to escort her. The Vordax emissary is quite agitated, the Meridian explained. We've scanned him for weapons, but be careful. They led Lisa to a plain meeting room with a large table. On the far side stood Krell, the first Vordax she had ever seen in person. His blue-green exoskeleton gleamed under the lights, and his 4 arms were held tightly against his body, a posture that Frank had told her indicated extreme stress in Vordax body language. Commander Moore, Krell's voice came through his translator with a metallic edge. You are the one who revealed the human weapon to the Galactic Council. Lisa nodded. I am. My scientists have detected unusual microorganisms in our water supply on Vordax Prime, Krell said, his compound eyes fixed on her. They match the description you provided to the Council. Is this the Edwards Protocol? Lisa took a deep breath. Yes, it was deployed without my knowledge or approval. Krell's upper arms twitched. Then we are already dead. Perhaps not today or tomorrow, but as a species, we are finished. There may be a way to reverse it, Lisa said. The effects take time. If we can develop a countermeasure quickly. Why would humans do this? Krell interrupted. Our attacks were limited to military targets. We never harmed civilian settlements. Earth has been using this method for centuries, Lisa explained. It became our default response to any species that wouldn't back down. Krell moved closer to the table. And you exposed this secret. Why? Because it's wrong, Lisa said simply. We changed the evolution of entire species without their knowledge or consent. We've been playing God. The Vordax was silent for a long moment. Our leaders don't believe your story. They think it's human propaganda to frighten us. I can show you proof, Lisa offered. Records of what happened to the Zenkari and others. 6 hours later, having reviewed the evidence, Krell sat motionless. So this is how humanity conquered the stars, not through superior firepower, but by quietly rewriting the genetic future of your enemies. Not all humans agree with this approach, Lisa said. That's why I'm here. It may be too late for the Vordax, Krell replied. Our scientists estimate the microbes have already reached 90% of our population. I need to speak to the Earth Security Council immediately, Lisa decided. And I need you to come with me. 2 days later, Lisa stood before the full council in their chamber beneath the Rocky Mountains. Krell stood beside her, causing visible discomfort among the human leaders. Admiral Hobbs spoke first. Commander Moore, bringing an enemy representative to this secure facility is grounds for court-martial. I'm not your enemy, Krell said before Lisa could respond. I am simply the representative of a species that doesn't wish to be erased from existence. Lisa activated the room's display system, showing the Zenkari records alongside data from 7 other species that had undergone the Edwards Protocol. For centuries, we told ourselves that this method is humane, that it saves lives on both sides by avoiding direct conflict, Lisa said. But look at the results. 8 species gone from the galaxy, not because we defeated them in fair combat, but because we secretly rewrote their very nature. Counselor Winters nodded. The Galactic Council has already condemned our actions. If we continue with the Vordax operation, we risk being labeled as criminals by every species in known space. The microbes are already deployed, Admiral Hobbs argued. The Vordax will become less aggressive within 1 generation. Isn't that better than war? Not if we didn't give them a choice, Lisa countered. Dr. Hale, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke. I believe I can create a countermeasure, but I need council authorization. The council members looked at each other, the weight of the decision visible on their faces. This wasn't just about the Vordax. It was about redefining humanity's place in the galaxy. The Edwards Protocol gave us peace for centuries, said an older counselor. Are we prepared to give that up? It gave us the illusion of peace, Lisa corrected, built on the graves of entire civilizations. President Harris, who had remained silent until now, leaned forward. Let us vote. Do we develop and deploy the countermeasure for the Vordax, or do we continue with the protocol as planned? As the council members entered their votes, Lisa stood tall beside Krell. Whatever happened next would determine not just the fate of the Vordax, but humanity's soul. The results appeared on the president's screen. He looked up, his expression solemn.